Okay guys, welcome back. Now Bill Phillips on MMI said something yesterday on one of his videos that struck a chord with me, and it was that he said, you know, he's going to spend more time on the practice fairway because he's finding on it, you know, like his practice range golf is good, but his on-course golf is not as good as his practice range golf, and he feels a bit different out there. Well guys, I'll tell you why you will feel different on the golf course. And it's all relative to how you practice and what you do in terms of targeting when you practice. If you just hit a multitude of shots, if you set up here and I'm going to hit a bunch of shots up there towards that tree, and I set up here in channel lock, I'll get a predominance of feel of sort of sitting in here. Being right-handed, I'll be really right side dominant here, and I feel comfortable in here, you know, aiming at that target up there. But as soon as I turn around here and I've got a new target, which is, you know, like 180 degrees over here, I promise you guys the predominance of feel changes. This is what happens on the golf course. That comfort mode or zone that you get into when you're hitting these multiple shots here, and you're sort of in this constructed sort of foundational position, that is a specific feel. Now that's because you're set up in that specific orientation to that specific target. But I promise you, if you move around 20 degrees every shot you hit, that feel will change. And it does change. And that's what you've got to do to orientate to play golf. When I practice, even I'm in front of the camera here and I look like I'm hitting to the same target, in my mind and my focus, my thinking focus is that I'm not hitting to that tree all the time. I'm hitting to the right of it. There's another tree to the right there, and then there's another tree over there, another sign over there. I'm working on those all the time, and I change a little bit. So the orientations, I'm not doing 180 degrees, but if I do 180 degrees, I was just aiming at that tree there before. Now I'll move around. I'll go at this tree over here, which is 140 yards left of that tree. So I've come around, I don't know, probably in a 360 degree arc, I'll probably come around 100 degrees. So the orientation I will have now for feel is now different. But it doesn't affect my aim because I do that a lot when I practice. And I've done that over the years with everybody that I've ever taught. Even with conventional swings, I never let them hit, you know, copious quantity of shots to just a target. The practice is always golf course orientation. It's different targets, different shots. I mean, I've done that my whole life. Now I'll hit one this way. I'll turn around here. Now the orientation here, a lot different. And you know what gives you the difference in orientation, guys? It's the visual pickup that you get. The ocular acceptance of the new target gives a different signal to your body, and proportionally it sets the feeling different. I promise you, that's what it does. And that's why guys have difficulty taking their golf, even a conventional golf swing, from the practice tee to the first tee. As Mo Norman says, the longest walk in golf, from the practice tee to the first tee. And it's because you don't practice to play golf. You practice to hit a lot of golf shots. Now I'm going to turn around there, I'll go 100 degrees this way. Now I don't feel as alienated in my setup because I do that a lot. I just don't feel alienated when I do that. But I promise you guys, if you hit a lot of shots from the same place, and I've done this, I've tested guys. I've had guys and other buddies of mine that teach, and I help them out on occasions. And a guy will be hitting some shots, and the teacher will say, well, what do you think of that, JH? And I'll say, yeah, that looks pretty good. But Harry or George or whatever, George, you're hitting those shots great at that tree there. Now I want you to aim at this sign over here. So he's going to have to come around 100 degrees. And I promise you guys, I promise you, 99 out of 100 people don't hit that shot well. And the standard comment is, oh, just let me get on the target. I say, guys, you don't get that chance to get on the target in the golf course. And I said, why didn't you hit it? He said, oh, I just didn't feel right on that target. I wasn't used to it. I said, okay. That's a perfect indication you shouldn't be hitting copious shots, quantities of shots to a target. We'll just hit one up here at the red car. Go in the window of the red car. Can't reach it today into the wind, but that was right on line to go in the window of the red car. And it's only a little old Ford Focus, it's only about 12 foot long, but that was straight at it, guys. And that's a long way around. I'll go even further around. Wow. Whew. Oh, I love that. Yeah, I don't have that. When I say I'm not playing on the golf course, I go out and I play sort of 5-6 holes in batches, and sometimes I might do that 3 times in the one day because I live on a golf course, and I go out and I play with some guys, and they're guys that only want to play that many holes anyway, and we usually play for some substantial money, so that it suits our concentration, and it suits me in this development program. But I've got to tell you, on the golf course, I'm hitting the ball very, very accurately. I mean, I just never miss fairways and hardly ever miss a green. If I do miss a green, it's only a kick up to the flag. I've been having some, it's really good scores. So, okay, we're going to go. Okay, there's a big pile of wood up there that they're going to burn off. I'll go for that. See, that one there to that one there is probably 70 degrees difference. So you just got to change around, guys. I would go back at the original tree. All right, we'll just power this one up. And a couple of guys asked me what I do to power the shot up. All I do, guys, is try and be smoother on the backswing, a slower backswing, and a little bit more turn. And really see the ball when I hit it. Okay, we'll go just to the right of the tree up there. That's perfect. Wow, that's good. Into that wind, guys, the ball's not moving at all. Not at all. All right, I'll power this one up. Watch how slow the backswing is. That's pretty tough. That's 5-iron straight into a wind there, guys. It's going about 130 yards. That's how strong that wind is. It's just brutal. It's taking like 50 yards off the shot. So it's a 4 club wind. Tried to take a bit of, this is what I do when I practice, try to take a bit of spin off that into the wind. And what do I do to take spin off, just digressing? I try and third groove it. Basically, just try and hit what I call a cultivated or a cultured thin shot. I'm trying to actually purposely hit it thin, but thin but solid. That's a bullet. That's just an Exocet missile. I'm like everybody else, guys. I mean, I don't have everything exactly right every day. And the one thing I haven't had until the last couple of shots is I really haven't had what I preach, which I preach very strongly, and that is get that mobility in the head of the golf club going back. I haven't had that. I've been a bit stiff and rigid in that, and that's the first shot today that I've actually just let that club head really motor. And we're over here in the crabgrass again. So I really let this club head motor. Watch the difference. Just make the transition a little bit slower. So you don't get any flubs, guys. That's what I like. There's no flubs. There's no grounders or clunkers. And I don't care when I've got a practice session going if I'm hitting 85%. You know, 85% is going to get me on the green. But I don't want to hit a 40%er. I never want to hit a 40%er. Guys, I just hit a couple of drivers really hard into this wind. This is my triple X shaft. This, for anybody who knows CPMs, this is 305 CPM. It was made up for an absolute guy with 140 mile an hour clubhead speed. I just like it because it's so accurate. It costs me distance, but I just love it. And in this wind, it ain't going to get away. Now watch this, guys. Smoothness. Now I aimed at that tree up there that I couldn't reach, couldn't get anywhere near with the 5-iron. And that's just flown. That tree's about, that's about 180 metres into that wind, so it's playing about 235. And that just flew right into the top of the foliage. I'd realise wind like this takes 50 yards off a shot, maybe 60. That landed in the same place, right in the middle of the tree, at about 60 feet up. So the wind really, the wind batters the ego, guys. I mean, hitting full drivers here, and carrying it about 180 yards, and flushing it. That's how strong the wind is. That tree's normally a 5-iron tree for me. I've got 60 feet high, and I'm hitting drivers in the top of it into that wind. So on a par 5, if you had a 550 yard par 5, it'd be 3 woods. And probably 3 good woods today. Just didn't have the 5 o'clock nose I needed there, and that just pushed. Just a push. Not horrible, just probably 5-8 yard push. That's it, that's going straight out. It's almost... That's just amazing. That's actually... Like that hasn't moved like a foot. I say, guys, that this tests your shot making and your ego when you're hitting into wind as strong as this. Just a little push. Head came forward a little bit. As soon as the head comes forward, you get the little push. But the great thing with channel lock, guys, you never get this. Well, you never get this with this club anyway. You're never going to turn this face over with this big shaft in it. Okay, come on, Jage. Oh, I don't hit the ball far, guys, these days. I mean, on the golf course, you know, carried about 240 yards, run it out to 265 yards, maybe 270. That does me. Get a little bit of good conditions, hit it 280, 285. But I'm not a 300 hitter. The wind really gets on your case, guys. That's the problem. And it just makes you just twist that head a bit. Just a little push. Now, there's an out of bounds fence there. But that's between the tree and the out of bounds fence. And it's only about eight yards to the right of that tree. So I'll keep the 5 o'clock nose back big time. There it is. Wow. Oh, well, that's flying the tree. That just flew straight over it. I think, I can't see, maybe it landed in the top. It looked like it went over. But a good 5 o'clock nose there. Have a lot of 5 o'clock nose. That's flying the tree, guys. That's gone over the tree. Yep, that flew the tree. Woo. See, guys, tree never comes out of the ground. What does that mean? It means that the hit is very level and up. Hit one this way on this angle. Come on, take it back really slow and just hammer it. If I want to hit it further, I hit it better, not harder. Like that. Last shot. Okay, I don't usually try and hit it hard, but I want to show you that channel lock doesn't break down. Wow. I lost that in the sky because there's a lot of cloud today, but I just looked at where I thought I hit it, and then the ball just came down right beside the tree. Okay, guys, there's just a couple of other things that might help you.